I'd just like to say I'm deeply honored to have been chosen as the recipient of the 2021 FIAF Award. Before I say anything else, do excuse the shades. They're not a style statement. It's just that I've had an urgent eye surgery and I need to have some protection. I would like to thank all the gentlemen that spoke before me. These are great, iconic figures. And to hear them talk about me is a moment that I look upon with great grace. I'm least deserving of some of the words and the expressions that you've used, but I do believe that the cause that we are putting our minds and hearts to is most noble and very worthy. I would like to thank then FIAF for bestowing this award on me. I would also like to express my gratitude to Mr. Martin Scorsese and Mr. Christopher Nolan, whom I had the great honor of meeting. Actually, I met Mr. Martin Scorsese as well some years ago at the Cannes Film Festival. I don't think he will remember. Baz Luhrmann had brought his film, The Great Gatsby, for the inaugural of the Cannes Film Festival. And at a dinner that was hosted by Mr. Abramovich in his villa, that's where we met Mr. Martin Scorsese. So I'd like to thank them for taking the time to be a part of this ceremony and for their words of appreciation. I am aware of their dedication to preserving and restoring cinema, and I consider it a privilege to join an esteemed group of artists around the entire world working for the common cause of preserving our cinematic heritage. As artists, I believe we have a duty to preserve what we create. Our work represents a lifetime of passion and devotion to our craft. We need to ensure that we preserve this legacy in memory of all those who came before us, and in recognition of the moving image as an art form and a visual document of humankind. Thank you very much, and this is a great honor and something that not just the film industry in India, but my own country, I hope, will be very proud of. I'm just a very small element in the Indian film industry. But thank you so much. When you honor me, you honor the Indian film industry, you honor my country, but most of all, you honor this cause of film preservation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions as we're talking about preservation.
Yeah.
The first question which came into my mind is, why do you think it's important to preserve our cinematic heritage?
Yeah, well, to be very honest, Shiven, you know, I had not been drawn towards this until I met you. And I'd like to thank my wife, Jaya, for introducing you to me and informing me about what is happening in the field of film preservation and how important it is. So what comes to my mind is that we don't ask this question about monuments, about paintings, crafts, folk art, dance, and theater, you know, as we instinctively accept that these are all living symbols of our history and culture. Unfortunately, cinema, which is a relatively new entrant in the world of arts, being just a little over a century old, is generally regarded in India as a medium of mass entertainment. And so, to be forgotten once the lights come up is almost unpardonable. In the world we live in today, the moving image is one of the most pervasive influences in our lives. Films in all forms are a reflection of who we are and the times we live in, making them an integral part of our social and cultural heritage. When we preserve films, we are preserving our history.
Yeah. And if I can ask you, what would be your role as an ambassador now when you look at, in terms of posterity, when we talk about India's cinematic heritage? How would you look at your role as an ambassador?
If you remember our first meeting and the first function that we
Right.
had at the Opera House,
Right.
and when I was asked to become the ambassador, one of the things I said was, if I can be an ambassador to promote Gujarat tourism, surely this is a more important cause. But I've been working closely with the Film Heritage Foundation since the year 2015 to propagate and support their efforts to preserve India's film heritage. So we have sparked a movement for film preservation in India and all our neighboring countries in just a few years. We've trained archivists at our 6 annual film preservation workshops. We've been collecting every bit of our heritage that we can, as a result of which we have a rapidly growing collection of films and film-related memorabilia representing the diverse range of our country's cinema. But you know, Shiven, there is much that needs to be done.
Yeah.
The most important of which is to realize our vision to set up the country's first center of the moving image, dedicated to the celebration of the art, culture, and the heritage of film.
Yeah.
The center will be a living testament to India's rich film heritage and its power to reflect and influence our culture. So as an ambassador, which I'm very honored about, for the cause, it is my goal to do everything in my power and campaign for the support of the government and my colleagues in the film industry to make this vision a reality. We are the largest filmmaking nation in the entire world.
Yes.
And it would be a great loss if we cannot preserve what we have been creating for the past 100 years. And therefore this makes it this vision of yours
Yes, sir.
and the Film Heritage Foundation and FIAF for giving me this responsibility in a way of promoting film preservation. It is indeed a very important element in our lives. We will be dead and gone, but we have to leave something for posterity.
Yeah.
But I've always believed that cinema is one of the greatest integrators in the world.
Absolutely, sir.
In this fast disintegrating world, cinema is one element that
Which
brings
unites.
people together.
Yes, sir.
When we buy a ticket to go into a theater, we never ask the caste, the creed, the color, or the religion of the person sitting next to us. Yet we watch the same product. We laugh at the same jokes. We cry with the same sentiment.
Right.
We sing the same songs. In today's world, where do you find these elements? You find it in cinema.
Yeah.
And therefore its preservation is extremely important.
Thank you very much, sir. It's really an honor.